let's dive into that a little bit more. How can we cultivate and imagine a life that we want? Like, how do we go about doing that? Christian said that he tried a few different things, and then that led him to his calling. Malik mentioned his, but how do we do that? How do we go about cultivating and imagining a life that we want?
I think I would say the first step would be as simple as learning what you love and learning the things that you like and love and exploring and like we were saying, trying new experiences, but also being during these experiences, right? So if you're trying something new for the first time, and you may be with friends, you might like it, and you may like this thing because that's what it seems like everyone else is doing, right? If I sit and I notice and I pay attention to my own emotions, and I can kind of pick up for myself, well, I'm having this experience, I'm enjoying this experience, this is something that I like to do, I want to do more of this, I want to learn more of this is something I want a part of my life. And so I think if you take a lot of all life experiences, emotions, like this is something that I enjoy doing, or is this something that I don't enjoy doing, and you get to that point, it's the starting point of becoming your own visionary and figuring out life the way you want it to be. But the first step is learning what you love, learning what you like, noticing the emotion that you feel when you're doing things and you're trying things, and use that to help you figure out what the other things that you like, the other things that you enjoy. When you have that emotion, I felt good at this job and I want to do this, but you are at this restaurant and that you have a similar emotion that you felt at this other place. So you look at this like this emotion that I'm feeling positive, and this emotion I'm feeling here is positive. These are things that I want to keep in my life, these positive experiences. So I think that's a good start to that.
Love it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Christian and Malik, totally. You just have to explore in different things, different jobs, different friends, different sports, just everything different. As we're growing from a child to an adult, we're always trying to learn different things. We're always curious about stuff. We're always asking about why this, but why that, but to our parents. And that's how we should be as adults and until death, always, asking questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? To learn, to expand your mind. And as far as, getting to know different people, might be some people who introduce you to something that you didn't even know about, and you might enjoy it. And that might probably be your career. That might probably be your hobby. And you never knew that was going to happen. But because you met this person, now you're doing that. Thing and things, I feel like a vision comes from something simple, such as riding your bike on to the park or to the beach or somewhere. Because when you do things, at least for me, when I do things on my own, exercise or something, my mind is always processing. I'm always thinking like, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to, do? How am I going to make more money? Let's just say I'm always thinking about, just how am I going to be better? And so when you take those, personal trips, your brain just works on what you're interested in, right? And that's what Malik and Christian said. Once you realize your interest, you find a way to grow that interest and pursue that interest in whatever it is, whether it's careers or sports or whatever.
Right. So learn what you love and network, because people present opportunities. Got it. Another tip. What are your thoughts, Diego?
Malik said that it's important to understand what you like and what you love, but I think it's as important to like know the difference between something you like and something you love, Sure, you can like doing this, but do you really want to be doing that for the rest of your life,
Right.
And that's not to say that at some point you can't have a career change or, that your life takes you on a different path, but you don't want to spend a lot of time doing something that you may not end up falling in love with. And to piggyback also what Richard said about taking those personal trips and having those moments of clarity, and having those times of where you're trying to evolve, I think that's also important too, because without that time for reflection and introspection, you can't really. I don't think that I think it's necessary in the process of making your visions a reality. I think that's very important.
Love that. Love that. What do you guys think about journaling and writing your vision down? What do you think about meditation and manifesting the person that we see in the future? Because like Diego said, do you love what you do? Are you going to want to do this for the rest of your life? So you kind of have to envision the older you, the old man and what that man's going to say at the end of the road when he's done and he put all his work in. Did I love what I did for work? That example. What do you guys feel about journaling and writing those thoughts and goals down, and how that connects with being your own visionary?
I'm a believer of positive manifestation and positive affirmations, positive self-talk. I believe those the words that you go out of your mouth go back into your ears, meaning that the things that you say, you subconsciously hear those things and they manifest inside your mind, positive or negative. So negative self-talk can lead down a path of believing negative about yourself, and positive self-talk can lead you down a path of inspiring you and developing more confidence. So I believe that writing things down and manifesting it verbally and written are two good ways to really memorialize your ideas and your thoughts, meaning you have it on paper, and when you feel those negative thoughts or those doubts, or you take a college class you feel is difficult, you can go back to that paper and say, hey, this was my goal, this is my vision.
Right.
And you post it, you make it simple and plain, and also another thing to do, Justin, you're asking, how do you manifest these things? How do you bring these things to fruition and to the present? Another thing is, really being easy on yourself and setting small short-term goals. You want to really be solution focused. So you're looking at short-term goals. So you can look at anything from a 1 month time period to maybe a 1 week time period. It doesn't have to be, my goal is to graduate college in 4 years. There's a lot of steps in between that 4 years that you have to hit.
Right.
And you can become really discouraged if you don't have those short-term goals to celebrate over. So for example, you can have, a long-term goal, graduate in 4 years, but short-term can be, I'm going to study, 3 times a week so I can pass this midterm in a month.
Right.
And then you pass it. That's a celebration. And then you keep setting those short-term goals, and before you know it, you've reached your long-term goal. So I am a believer in those manifestations, written and verbally.
Love it. Love it. Start small. Positive self-talk in the mirror, writing your goals down. What else? Are we missing anything else as far as how to manifest it literally with journaling or writing down?
I think journaling is also a great idea. It could also be funny once you past a certain age that you listed. Hey, in 5 years I'm gonna be a doctor or something, and then we're already at 6 years. You open up your journal, it's like, oh, okay, I should have been a doctor. But that helps you realize, it's like, okay, I should have been this, or I wanted to be this, but I changed, paths. So let me motivate myself to pursue this second or plan B choice. And sometimes it's kind of funny looking back at your journal, and it's like, oh, okay, I supposedly was going to be this by this time, and I'm not. And I feel like that's part of the journaling process.
Like a transformation.
Right. And so another thing about what Christian said about putting your short-term goals and your long-term goals, I think another great idea to add into those is when you're constructing your short-term goals, it's good to add possible barriers that you might face and possible actions to overcome those barriers. That's both for short-term and long-term goal, because the thing that many people do after New Year's is they say, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose weight. That's their goal. That's their, but it's not, they don't realize that, they're going to go to the gym, but then they have to eat healthy. What are some barriers? Well, I have to eat healthy now. I have to go to the gym 3 times a week. We don't realize those things, but when you put it on paper, hey, these are the possible barriers. What can I do to overcome them? And you put that, you journal that before the barriers even pop up. It's, you anticipate and you can detour those barriers rather than hitting the wall and it's like, it's getting too difficult, I quit.
Right. No, they did one of those studies at Harvard where the students actually wrote down their short-term goals. And then when they wrote them down, they were more likely to achieve those goals just by writing them down. So start small with your goals, be realistic, and then achieve them as we move forward into the future. I love it. What about meditation and manifestation? Malik, go ahead. I feel like you had something to say. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I was going to add on to just a little bit what we were talking about when it comes down to the writing down and the journaling. Another thing when it comes to, and Richard had said about if plan A doesn't work out, then, looking back and looking at plan B. But one of the tips that I have for that is sometimes having a plan A, B, C, D, E is okay, right? So a lot of times when you look at plan A and you don't get plan A, there's this disappointment that comes with not getting plan A. But if you have multiple plans and you can rank these plans in an order of life satisfaction, right? At one point in time, I had a plan A in grad school, straight out of undergrad, and go to this school in California and make it sure it happened. However, that was my number one plan. And if I got that, then I was going to be the happiest person. But however, I had a plan B that also brought me joy that it didn't work out. This plan B is going to also bring me some joy to my life. And it might not be exactly what I wanted, but it's still bringing me joy. And then I have a plan C that's like, okay, I can deal with this and be the worst thing for me, and I would still be happy. It's not exactly happy. But this plan C can also be a plan to get me to plan B that might get me to plan A. That makes sense. So it's having these different plans so that even if you don't end up doing exactly what you want to do right away, that can lead you to get you to that point, and get you to that point of where you're at plan A now, but you're not disappointed that you weren't at plan A 10 years ago because plan C was actually okay for you and plan B was for you. And now you can try out plan A when the time is right and when you're ready and prepared.
I see. Have a map. Have a map of how you're going to get to your vision. I like that.